in your body. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everybody! Oh my goodness, life is alive and well.
Ooh, how we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Are y'all excited as much as I am? We're leaving today to go to San Diego. So.
Yeah, we're running a little bit behind, but don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
We were gonna do the Periscope in the
car.
but
we're running behind it.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We're good, guys. Don't tell anyone. But I got a secret.
You are not.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just gonna show you something. Be ready for it.
Oh my God. Yes. So
Anywho.
Deep breath. Deep breath. We got lots of stuff to cover today. Many people are traveling, so they can catch us on the flip side. On the replay.
Yeah.
I may just come out of this dress. I better be careful. Right? I'm so excited. That'd be crazy, right?
So, thanks for joining us, guys. We know that obviously you guys have a lot of things in your life going on, so we're always appreciative when you jump on. Thanks for the hearts as always, and of course, if you guys want to connect with us outside of Periscope, you can find our Facebook names on the profile description of Periscope.
My name is Paul Krueger.
And my name is Lynette Davis.
So.
But yeah, we wanted to take you on a little journey here, diving into one of our foundational teachings, and we're going to get started. So
if you don't know who we are, again, my name is Lynette. This is Paul. We're holistic health coaches. Number one, we love what we do, but we're also business industry trainers. But the difference between Paul and I is that we love implementing 2.0 methods, new methods. So if you are brand new watching us, because I know we get a lot of replays after the live broadcast, don't worry. We're going to break everything down for you. Paul and I always layer and layer and layer our information.
It's like a lasagna.
Oh, I like that. Actually, I'm hungry now. But something to keep in mind is if you are a seasoned viewer, we need you to begin looking at our episodes with a different eye, with a different light, right?
Yeah,
so if you're just now joining us on Periscope, you will be in one or two categories. You will be brand new and you're learning and beginning to implement the things that Paul and I teach. Or you are now a seasoned viewer because we're going on episode 50.
50 episodes.
We're committed to you for 90 days. But if you're seasoned, you've been with us, then you're going to start looking at our Periscope broadcasts in a different light, because we need to get you to start training and duplicating everything that you are doing. So it's different when you're in the learning student mind frame, now the teacher or the inspirational leader that you will become. So we got to get you up to speed so you can begin duplicating and training this to your team, right?
Yeah, so you guys know, you guys have heard it before, learn, do, teach. First you learn the skill, then you do the skill to see it work for you, and then you can teach it. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're always layering. We were all learning in the beginning, and then of course you guys have been doing it and getting great results, and then now it's time to teach it and duplicate it, because that's what this whole business is about, is duplication.
Mm-hmm. And as always, the things that we teach can be implemented in a traditional business, franchise business, as well as a network marketing business. So depending on where you fall, just stay tuned. See if you can get one or two tips from us to see if it can help you. Many of you may be struggling in your business, or your team is struggling in their business. They can't move forward. Well, with the stuff that me and Paul teach, it works. It works because we are implementing 2.0 brand new methods using social media, changing the Facebook algorithm. What does that mean, right? So you got to stay with us. Yeah, well, okay, so let's just... It's not that kind of show.
So guys, so check this out. So when we're talking about duplication, we're talking about new methods, we're not talking about new teachings. We're just chunking old information in new ways so that we can wrap our head around it. So a lot of people look at the whole pie and they're like, that's a lot of food. I don't know how to get that down. I don't know how that's going to work. Well, we're giving it to you one bite at a time. Now, if you think about it this way, you might be a little bit late to the party, and you're kind of in the middle of the pizza. You didn't get one of the fresh slices, so you might not understand everything that we're talking about, and that's okay, because we do tend to recap a lot of the things. And, it's just the foundational basic things that we go over every time. We just layer on those things every time.
And just to reiterate, it's not just our company that we represent. Casey Tucker is working in her particular business, which I saw you on Eric Worre yesterday, Casey, representing Tony Robbins. So make sure that you do register for Tony Robbins and Eric Worre's interview next Saturday.
This Saturday.
That's a side note,
yeah.
Right? Register for that. Do not miss Tony Robbins and Bob Proctor.
And Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki, right? Perfect. So we got to dive into the rule of 5 today. Again, if you're brand new, you have no idea what we're talking about, don't worry. We're going to walk you through everything, because everything that we're teaching, Paul and I always teach essentially the 2-week turnaround. We go into the rule of 5, which will catapult you into celebration, or what we know as, it's like a 90-day game plan.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what celebration is, it's just our flagship event for our company. Every major company or business has like a flagship event to really get things going, the momentum going. But the reason Paul and I need to talk about this today, and it's not just the traditional rule of 5, because we're going to dive deep into 2 particular steps within the rule of 5, because many of you, after you come back from celebration, are going to be like Tasmanian devils. You're going to be
you're going to be spinning around.
You're going to be
a ball of energy. You don't know what to do with it.
Like a loose cannon.
Right?
So we got to keep you guys contained and focused, because you will go back to your old habits, your old ways, and we don't want you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be focused and very organized, right, in our mind, in our business, because everything that we do in our business is strategic. Remember, we don't just go onto Facebook or do our business, we're out and about and trying to throw mud on the wall and see if things work. We can't do that anymore.
Guys.
Every single thing, every move that I make, every comment or like or message, or if I'm out and about, everything Paul and I do when we're in the gym is strategic and always leads to the business, always.
Guys, it's all about making sure that we understand that this business is 100% predictable. And with that, there are steps that everyone can take in multiple ways, and they'll get the same result, which leads into a successful, thriving business. We talked about the success key yesterday, and that's just all of the things that we've talked about over the last 49 episodes up until today. And we're kind of chunking that down even further so that we can dive in a little bit more, so you guys have a better understanding. But those of you that have been with us, look at it in a way that you can teach. Take notes in a way that you're going to be able to teach this to your team.
Because what's going to happen is that many of us will be at celebration or at some type of convention, and some of you will be staying at home because you've got other priorities, and that's okay. But you guys have homework, the ones that are at home.
What?
You have homework, right? Because we got to keep the momentum going, because we are one team in this industry, and we got to keep things rolling and moving. You don't just stop just because all of us are at Celebration or in San Diego getting massive training. We need you to step up in your leadership at home, right? We all work together full circle, right? So
let's dive in.
Let me bring,
first things first.
Let me bring out my board.
I do want to go over the rules of the game. And this is important because it sets up our mind on how to think about things and how we're going to approach everything that we talk about. So the rules of the game, there's 4 rules that we've kind of distilled down. And the rules of game number 1 is, what is it?
They are 100% responsible.
You're 100% responsible for your own efforts and your own results. We can tell you about everything and give it to you in the nicest way, in the tiniest little package. You can take a little bite and do it. But if you don't take that bite, if you don't take the action, if you don't do it yourself, nothing's going to matter. It doesn't matter.
We talked about in several episodes, Paul and I are presenting information to you, 5-star restaurant quality type information, and some of you are still looking outside of the restaurant going, I wonder if it works. The doors are wide open. Paul and I are like, come in, taste the food.
The buffet is amazing.
We've given you
dessert.
Appetizers and drinks, and we've given you salads, and we've actually now dipped into the amazing entrees. Yet many of you are still outside on the sidewalk, still looking in. Come in.
Come in. The food is so good. It's so good.
There is so much abundance and prosperity waiting for you, and some of you just need to really remember we talked about the core wounds. Some of you may not even are in that position where you accept prosperity into your life, but we'll talk about that on another episode, because some of you won't allow it in. You're still blocking this prosperity and abundance into your life. So
that's rule number 1, which is you're 100% responsible for everything in your life, results and effort. Okay. Rule number 2 is energy first, mechanics and technique second.
Remember, most people do it the opposite way. They do the mechanics and the techniques of the business and then wonder why they're so frustrated.
Yeah.
It's always energy first. That's why we always get you off the crazy train, allowing you and making sure that you're reading daily. You're doing remember, I've got my marble notebook just like you. I'm doing this every day just like you. I'm not like some of the other leaders and telling you what to do and hope that you do it. I'm walking the walk, talking my talk. I'm doing this with you every day, right?
I got mine.
Right?
So rule of the game number 3 is detach yourself from the outcome. Work without expectation or emotion. Okay? Now, the reason this is important is because we get so caught up in the work and we're so emotionally tied to whether what we do is going to get the response that we want, when we actually shouldn't be focused on that at all. If we know that the work is good, if we know that we're taking the right steps, then it is not wise to be tied emotionally to the outcome from that one step.
Some of you are still doing that. I'm seeing that on your private messaging, Paul and I, or you're in our top leaders group and you're talking about you're so frustrated or you're getting confused or anxious. No emotion.
You're tied to the outcome.
No emotion in the business, in the work. What you're doing is, remember, you're putting all of your emotion into your daily goals and your affirmations.
Yes.
So detach from the outcome. It's very important. No emotion in the work. Just do the work.
Do you know why that works? Because if you take your emotion out of the work, you're just doing that over and over and over again, and you're putting your emotion into the goal and affirmations, guess what frequency you're sending out to the universe? Guess what the law of attraction is doing now in your life? You're actually putting out everything that you do want and focusing on everything that you do want in a positive, forward-thinking, progressive way, and you have no frustration to hold you back from getting what you want. So
many of you, because we talked yesterday about the dip theory, a really powerful post that you will be implementing every 2 to 3 weeks. Some of you will be doing the dip theory, doing that power post, and then you sit behind and you wait. You wait for a comment or you wait for a like and you wait for something. No waiting. No waiting.
You got more work to do.
Post it and then move on, right?
So, and then rule of the game number 4 is be like water, flow, right? We talked about Bruce Lee, right? So that just means being able to bend and curve with the way that the trends go, with the way that the people that come into your life go, with how your business is ebbing and flowing and your journey along the way as you're learning.
Be easy on yourself. One of the most powerful videos that Paul and I watched in the early stages of our business, we've been in the business
everything
for about 15 or 16 months now, was a Michael Klaus video. And in the video, he essentially just said, you gotta figure this out. You keep doing it until you figure it out.
You know, he told actually a story about how he had invited all these people over to his house and they actually showed up. They didn't just say they were going to show up, they actually showed up. And then what happened was, after the meeting was over and everyone left, he said, guess how many people signed up? And nobody, nothing. And he was like, well, what is the moral of the story? The whole point of the story is that did not work, right? So he had to figure something else out, right? You have to figure it out until it works. Now, the beautiful thing is that gave us kind of a framework when we first started this business to go into it with the idea that if what we try doesn't work.
Oh man, Eric Worre is on. We're competing against Eric Worre.
We're
going to be on replay. We're going to be on replay. I get it.
But if what you're trying doesn't work, then you figure out a new way to do it. Well, that's what we've distilled over the last 15 months, and we wanted to make sure that what we're delivering to you now worked. That's why we didn't do this before, because we wanted to be 100% sure that what we were teaching is the basic foundational steps that you can take to move forward in your business. And we know that this does work. We've seen it from people that have been following us from day one. They're getting crazy results now. Okay,
so we got to go really quickly. Paul was just talking about the rules of the game. Before we always go into our training, right, on Periscope, he always says to remind you guys, so if you want to write this down, you were always 100%, you're 100% responsible for your actions, your daily IPAs, income producing activities. You got to be 100% responsible for that. You can't blame anybody else. Number 2 is that you need to be energy first, be in alignment first with your purpose, who you are, and then technique and mechanics second. Number 3 of the rules of the game is
detach from the outcome.
Detach from the outcome. No emotion into the work part of your business. And the 4th part of the rule of the game is just be like water. You know, we're taught by many leaders and people in this industry that everything has to be this way. That's not how Paul and I teach. That's not how, you know, Jill teaches us. You know, we gotta move. We gotta be like water and flow and figure things out along the way.
You know, that's a good point. And we'll get into the heart of it real quick here, but I just wanted to highlight, you know, Jill is a master at this because Jill is a master at this because she taught us that you have to be like water. You have to flow with the things that are happening. That's why she has so many different types of leaders.
Jill Bowman is the epitome of water.
Right? She has so many different types of leaders, helping them and letting them rise in their own style, in their own format, in their own way, and it works for all of them. And then, and she's just like, go ahead, if it's working, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, then you might want to change it. So it's just a beautiful way of thinking, and she's a master. So let's
move.
I'm in the way. So screenshot time.
Okay. So we're just kind of like recapping. If you're brand new, Paul and I, this is the keys to success. Each part represents a notch within the key. Remember we talked about that yesterday. If you're brand new, stay with us because we're going to go over each notch of the key. And if you are a seasoned viewer, then you're going to be learning to teach this, okay? But Paul and I always teach about the Facebook algorithm, how you need to manipulate Facebook, no Instagram. Write that down, no Instagram. It's got to be Facebook because there's more authentic connection, real deep connections, because we need you to move people into your high energy product page. But we always teach about the Facebook algorithm. Paul and I always teach about the 2-week turnaround. If you are stuck in your business, you're brand new, or maybe you've been in for years, you just plateaued, nothing's working. Well, if you implement the 2-week turnaround, your business will shift, guaranteed. Today we're going to be going into the rule of 5, particularly step 2 and 3, what Michael Klaus taught me about the rule of 5. Tracy O'Malley's 14-day talk, the 10% formula. Every Monday we get revenue. We don't get a paycheck, guys. Remember, we're always teaching you to go from... That's the wrong one. Oh, dude.
Sorry.
I don't know. You just... Okay. The 10% formula, remember, every Monday we get revenue, or whenever your company pays you, it's not a paycheck, so don't get your hair done, your nails done, and go pay your bills first. You always need to have 10% going into a business investment fund, personal development fund, and also a freedom fund or something like a savings account. So make sure that you are divvying up your money appropriately because you are a business owner. Paul and I talk about anticipating objections. We don't handle objections. We never get them because we anticipate them with planting seeds. The vision diamond, we talked about that yesterday. Casting the vision, because, you know, trying to find somebody's why no longer works. You can't just call somebody up and let them cry and they talk about their why. It doesn't get them moving. Well, Paul and I teach you how to cast the vision correctly, because as an inspirational leader, that's the key word, inspirational leader, you are building trust. You're earning trust with somebody. You're showing your passion with somebody. And with that, you give them optimism and hope. And with that, that is what casting the vision is about, to get them to move, not finding their why. That doesn't work. Paul and I talk about core wounds, probably the most important training that we do. Many of y'all missed that, but we'll need to go back into that, dealing with the core wounds. And then Paul and I literally take you from the time that we prospect somebody to all the way to enrolling them. That's A through Z. We walk you through it. We gave you an example. But today we need to go over the rule of 5 because it's really important, because as we go into celebration, you guys are going to be like Tasmanian devils. You're going to be all over the place.
And we want to help you stop the spinning and start walking in a straight line. So real quick, I was trying to block someone because they're putting up crazy comments, and I hit the wrong person because I have fat fingers. So I'll go ahead and unblock you after this, and I apologize if you watch the replay, so I'm so sorry.
Oh man, I feel so bad.
Yeah, that's my bad. So sorry about that.
Okay, so what is this rule of 5? What does it mean? How do I implement it? What do I do? Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it, because again, the rule of 5 is after the 2-week turnaround. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stay with us. We'll go over the 2-week turnaround. But this is really for the people, and you can actually implement this if you're brand new. But the rule of 5 is what's going to change your business. Things that you need to be focusing on strategically. No more getting on Facebook. No more trying to build your business and not knowing what to do with all this vague information. We give you specific steps that you should be doing all the time. But now we're going to be kicking it up a notch because we're coming back from Celebration, which is our flagship event, and this is when the business is going to explode because we're going into the holidays. They're going to be launching brand new products, or maybe your company is going to be launching brand new products. I'm sure they are. All of us are going into an amazing high momentum season, the holidays. You got to be prepared, okay?
So where does the rule of 5 come from? This is nothing more or less than a teaching from John Maxwell and Jack Canfield. The analogy is if you have a large tree in your backyard, you have an axe. If you take 5 swipes with that axe at the tree trunk every day, every single day, that tree will eventually fall, no matter how big that tree is. So these are the 5 swipes you're going to take every day to accomplish your goals in this business and make that tree fall.
And even if you're at a convention or a celebration or event, you still do these. You don't stop doing these when you're on vacation, right? You do this. You never ever just go on vacation and not ever lay what Jill Bowman talks about. She always has a finger. She's always touching her business every single day. Never once does she not touched her business in some way. Okay, so
let's get to business.
Rule number 1. We're not going to go into everything. I just want to focus on step 2 and 3. But to recap the entire rule of 5, step 1 is to make sure that you are a product of the product. Whatever company you represent, you better be representing your own company. There is a good, better, best way to do this. If you just want to do the good, then you can, try a few products each day. Better would be implementing maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 products each day. And then the best would be making sure you're trying everything. In our case, Paul and I are on Ionic Supreme, Cleanse for Life, the vitamins, the Ageless Joint Supports, and sleep spray, and greens, and fruit. We're on all of it.
Yeah.
We use it all the time. Be a product of the product. Represent your company. You are the CEO of your company. Do not ever go inactive.
Do you see how
go ahead. This is really important because many of you think this business is a liability. It is not. This business is an asset. Write that down. This business is not a liability. It is an asset. When you understand the magnitude of how powerful this business is and where it will shift your entire financial blueprint like it did for Paul and I, you will never, ever, ever go inactive. Okay? Because if you go inactive, you shut your storefront down. Why would you ever, if you have a traditional business or franchise, you would never just shut the door on a Tuesday afternoon, would you?
Unless you're done.
Your business is always open. Always open. Yeah. Okay, so part 2.
Number 2 of the rule of 5 is prospecting. Now we talked about in a specific, actually 2 episodes, we took you from prospecting somebody on social media to an enrollment, and then another episode we took prospecting in person, face-to-face to an enrollment. So we kind of took you through both of those scenarios, and we're going to dive back into that, and we'll tell you why.
So remember, prospecting, I like to think of it like a fork, right? It always leads to enrollment. So whether you are prospecting on social media, whether you're prospecting in person, right, out and about, it still leads to enrollment. And from this point down is the same. These 2 are a little bit different.
They'll meet in the middle somewhere, and then it's the same action after that. So we're going to dive into that today a little bit more. Rule of 5 number 3 is follow-up. Okay. Now we always say that the prospecting ends when the prospect is added to our product page. That's where the follow-up begins. So we kind of make a distinct line between the 2 actions and what that means for those particular steps.
But they intertwine.
They do.
Right?
There's technically no separation.
Some of you add people into your product page and then drop them off and leave them in there, and you stopped prospecting.
Ooh.
You stopped the follow-up process. They go hand in hand. 2 and 3 go hand in hand. Prospecting and follow-up, they go hand in hand, right? Within the product page. Let me reiterate this. Oh, actually, no. I don't want to reiterate just yet. I want you to just kind of recap.
We're going to get to that. So then number 4 on the rule of 5 is teach people about the products, which simply means educating people using your product page, because that's where they're going to learn everything. We'll tell you how that works. And then number 5, teach people about the business. That would be using the Facebook business pages. That would be using the tools that your company provides you for those business-specific tracks to run on. And again, on number 4 and 5, you're not the expert. You're simply using the information the company provides you to relay that in a way that's usable for your particular associate.
Okay, really quick, rule of 5 again. This is really important because you're going to be teaching this to your team, right? If you've already implemented the steps. You don't teach before you do. You got to do, right, and then teach. Rule of 5, be a product of the product. It sounds like a no-brainer, but you'll be surprised how many people in your downline, how many people in your team or in your business don't use the products, right? Be surprised. Number 2, prospecting. 3, you're following up. 4, you're teaching about the product. And 5, you're teaching about the business. Now, this is really key because some of you are still missing this point. You cannot prospect and you cannot follow up efficiently using new 2.0 methods unless you have a high energy, high contagious, addicting, amazing product page.
This is where it starts, guys.
Let me repeat that because some of you don't even have a product page. If you don't have one, you better get one and you better make one right now. If you already have a product page, Jill Bowman has an amazing one. Tracy O'Malley has an amazing one. Tanya Kirkpatrick has an amazing one. Kelly Dickerhoof has an amazing one. Make sure you have a high energy product page. 1. Don't reinvent the wheel and start a slow product page because if you have a slow product page, you're going to have a slow business and it's literally like pulling a Band-Aid off a hairy chest really slow. Don't
and
do
guys,
that.
Guys, what she's saying is if you're already part of a team with a high energy product page, don't go make your own product page. It doesn't make sense. You're only shooting yourself in the foot. The energy's already there. It's already working.
And no branding page either.
Branding pages don't work.
No, don't make another separate private product page and don't make a separate public branding page. I don't know don't do that. You have one area that you need to add your product page to. You need to add your prospects to, and that's the one high energy product page. Meaning you're missing this part, right?
Everybody is funneled into the same place. So.
Because you need it to, look, let's put it this way. Something that you're doing may work, but it makes no difference if it works. What matters is it duplicatable. That's the important part. That's in the GoPro book. Eric Worre says this. It makes no difference if it works for you. What matters is it duplicatable? Okay?
So you might be real slick at talking to people and you say all the right things and then they're head over heels for your opportunity. But, other people aren't. That's why what we're going to talk about today is so simple. Most people think that, how could that work? Well, it works. It works every time. In fact, it's probably one of the better things that we've ever figured out and seen it work 100% of the time now. So the cool thing is we're going to give that to you right now.
Okay, so when you're prospecting, that's the rule 2. When you're prospecting, there's so many ways that you can prospect out and about. When you're at a restaurant, when you're in the grocery store, when you're in the gym like Paul and I, or yoga class, whatever it may be.
Love yoga.
Right? There's certain verbiage that you can say that increases your chances for you to get somebody's information so they can take a look at your product page. That is the key. You need to be channeling every single prospect, every single loved one, family, friends, whatever, into your product page. That is the goal. Get them in the product page. I don't want their phone number to get them on a 3-way call. All right? I don't want their email. I don't want none of that. I'm not giving people business cards.
No business cards.
I need to make sure that they are on Facebook because I'm pre-qualifying who I'm talking to because it makes my job a little bit easier when I'm building the business and I'm pre-qualifying. So I ask everybody if they're on Facebook right there on the spot. I find them. And then my next goal is to get them into my product page. But how do I do that?
Ooh, this is gonna be real easy.
Yes, the product page is only about your product and your business or your company, right?
Okay, that's an important point. So if you don't have a product page would be education, inspiration, and motivation.
And information.
Information featuring all the things that go along with your company's products.
Now, some people have product pages and they add their business stuff. Oh, somebody, ranked advanced. None of that. No business in the product pages. It's just
Yeah.
24/7, 365 advertising for you.
You got to think about it, your storefront. People are going to walk into your store. They're going to see all of your products. They're going to learn your systems and how that works with your company. They wouldn't go to the back room and look at the accounting and the computer systems that you're using.
And the plaques on the wall. Look who's
they wouldn't,
the newest manager.
They wouldn't look at that. They want to see your storefront, what's in there, and how that fits into their life. So that's what that's about.
There was something else I wanted to add to that, but I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me in a minute. But the idea is to be channeling people into your high energy product page. In our case, we have over 31,000 people in our product page. Can you imagine the intensity and the energy? So if you are in this business and your upline has an amazing, strong product page and you open up a slow one, there is no motivation in there. There's no true inspiration in there. It's slow. There's no energy. Remember, Paul and I teach energy first, technique and mechanics second. Plus, if you want to open up a brand new product page, you know how much work that is for you? You have to be constantly doing, posting, teaching. You're doing all the work. Don't do that.
Yeah, Jill's been probably posting 30 times a day for the last 4 years.
Yeah,
yep. That's a big deal.
And I'll be doing anywhere from 10 to 20 times a day.
Do you have a business page too? When do you add them there?
Yeah, okay. That is step 5, so hang with us.
Remember, teach people about the business is step 5. We did say that would be adding them to the business pages.
So remember, in the rule of 5, step 4 is you're teaching about the business. You're teaching about the products in the product page. Rule 5 of the rule of 5 is you're teaching about the business in the business page. They're 2 separate pages.
That's a great question. Do you just put people that have signed up in your product page? No. These are all people that want to see what you have to offer as a solution for them.
Don't wait until they've enrolled.
Every single person we put in the product page has not signed up. And then that's where they get the information, education, motivation, and inspiration to make the decision to sign up. So it's not, after that, it's just a matter of when they're going to sign up and with what system or with what product pack. So that's the beautiful part about the product page. It does the work for you. Right?
Work smarter, not harder, right? I'm allowing 31,000 people to give their inspirational story or their body transformation or whatever company that you represent. If you represent makeup, you can show beautiful transformations that way, or how somebody's beauty has exuded outward, whatever it is. But make sure the product page is strictly product and it's high energy, contagious, and it's full of teaching, right? Teaching, because many of you, this is where you're dropping the ball. You're forgetting about teaching about the products, which is rule 4, right? But let's go back into prospecting. How do you prospect it, and how do I even get anybody into my product page? How do I do that?
We made it real simple.
We made it real simple with the 4 F's. This is if I am out and about. Social media prospecting is different. Social media prospecting is different.
Your entire team should be posting in the product page. You shouldn't be the only
All top
person.
leaders are in the product page together as one team, collaborating. Remember, solo is a no-go. You can't do anything by yourself in this industry. Solo is a no-go. Don't do anything by yourself. You should be collaborating with other team members, cross-line team members. Everybody's posting. Everybody's doing things together, right? It increases the energy.
Now, somebody asked, would you share the you plus 2, them plus 2 in the product page?
No.
No, you wouldn't. That's a business technique that people who want to learn the business would learn. So you're teaching about products. You're teaching about how they're used. You're showing results.
We're going to get into that, so I want to jump ahead. Remember, there's 2 ways to prospect to get somebody in the product page. I'm going to show you how to do both. For the sake of time, I got to go through this really quick because we got to get on the road.
Okay, so the 4 F's.
All right, so this is when I'm out and about, and I'm in the grocery store. I'm in, a restaurant. When I'm prospecting out and about, I always implement the 4 F's. I didn't make this up. I got this from Michael Klaus. Michael Klaus is an industry business trainer. He's in our company, but he also teaches other individuals in the industry as well. Brilliant. Because what happens is if you were brand new, or sometimes you get nervous, you can't remember verbiage. You clam up, you stop. Like if you're me, I just freeze. I can't remember anything. I get anxious sometimes. But if I can remember the 4 F's, or if I can even remember 2 of the 4 F's, at least I'm doing good.
Even 1. We'll show you that it's possible. But the cool thing is we steal everyone's great information and we deliver it back to you.
It's awesome.
So this is how awesome the business is.
But the great thing about the 4 F's is that it's duplicatable.
Mm,
it doesn't
see?
matter if it works. If I can't duplicate it to my team, which it is duplicatable because I've had so many people get great results with this, is that when you're prospecting, yeah, I'm sorry that your connection, it's Periscope.
It's the app, yeah. So
it's the app. So
try to catch us on the replay. I know some people are actually recording it and putting it on YouTube. So
thank you, Larry Fish.
So
okay,
yeah.
so let's go into prospecting. So when I'm out and about, the easiest thing for me to do, remember we talked about when you're prospecting, remember this equation.
Oh, this is good.
You compliment and ask a question. Let me repeat that. You compliment and ask a question, because remember, in the 2-week turnaround, we're always adding value to people's lives every single day.
Is it just that simple?
Yes. Offer a compliment, add value to somebody's life, and then ask a question. What question do I ask? You ask. If I'm at a restaurant and somebody waited table, they waited on me, they were amazing, great personality, they got great service. I'm going to ask them a question, but first I'm going to compliment them. I'm going to say, oh my God, you did a great job this evening. Thank you so much for waiting on us. How long have you worked here?
Oh, there's the question right there. Totally natural, totally easy, totally probably expected, because a lot of people probably ask them that.
Or if I'm at Target, that is a beautiful necklace. Where did you get that? Right? Paul, there's a couple things that you've asked some guys.
Yeah, I got some killer prospecting lines. So I'm in the grocery store at the deli, and the guy next to me gets this sandwich made, and I'm like, wow, that looks like a great sandwich. Have you had it before?
Just compliment
the sandwich.
Ask a question. Because here's the deal. The question that you really want to be asking them is, like for instance, with the waiter, I will ask them, how long have they worked here? Oh, I've worked here for 2-3 years. You know what, you should do what I do, right? Anytime somebody was filling out a job application, and I go, psst, you filling out a job application? What are you doing? And he said, yeah, I'm trying to look for another job. And I go, you should do what we do. That's the key word. You should do what we do.
Do you guys understand? You can say that with any response, any single response. Hey man, that looks like a great sandwich. Have you had it before? Yeah. Oh, well, you should do what we do. Well, what do you do? Well, da-da-da-da-da. And we go over the 4 F's. But the reason you can tie that together with a good sandwich is because we're all about superfood nutrition, right?
Healthy foods.
I mean, this is you guys you see, it can connect with anything. So
the 4 F's are, because what's going to happen is you're going to go, you should do what I do. And they're going to go, well, what do you do? The 4 F's. I help people feel better. I get them fabulously fit, financially free. Are you on Facebook?
What?
This is the most important F that you must remember. Are you on Facebook? You should do what I do? Well, what do you do? I help people feel better, get fabulously fit, financially free. Are you on Facebook? That way I can show you exactly what I'll do. So I friend them right on the spot, right?
Right on the spot.
Get their information, and once they friend request me, or once they accept my friend request, then I shoot them a back message, because I'm changing the Facebook algorithm, and say, thank you so much, it was great meeting you. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and add you to my product page so you can get a better idea of what I do.
Oh, see? You guys already talked about that they should do what you do, so that they're open to already accepting the fact that you're going to educate them on what you do. And how do you do that? You plug them into the product page.
I'm not verbal vomiting at this point. My only goal is to get them in my product page. So when I say you should do what I do, I'm complimenting them in the most amazing way, right? Because they gave me great service, or they had a beautiful personality, whatever it is. We're chit-chatting.
Yes, a back message is a private message or a regular Facebook message, yes.
But the idea is for them to go, what do you do? Bust out the 4 F's. I help people feel better, get fabulously fit, financially free. Are you on Facebook? That way I can kind of show you exactly what I'll do, what I do. Send them a friend request. Once they accept it, I back message them, private message, getting reacquainted of the conversation that we had that day. I don't wait a week later, that day, and say, it was so amazing to meet you today. I'm so excited about showing you what I really do. Can I have your permission? I'll add you into my support page. Yeah, of course.
And they always say yes.
What I do.
Yeah.
So that's how I prospected, using the 4 F's, making sure that they are on Facebook, private messaging them so I can change the Facebook algorithm. Why do I want to do that? Because private messaging changes the Facebook algorithm, so that way they now begin to see your post in their newsfeed and you see their post in your newsfeed. Private messages change the Facebook algorithm.
Now you start creating a dialogue with this person.
Yes.
So the good thing is that as a guy, you don't have to say the word fabulously fit. You just
Michael Klaus says it.
Well, it sounds crazy for me, but I usually just say fit. So that's still an F, so you're still good. You still have 4 Fs.
Well, then if you already know somebody, then you don't have to go through that whole spiel. Just go, hey, dude, let me add you to my product page so you can kind of see what I do. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. You are going to love it.
You want to tell them that they're going to love it, right?
That is planting the seed. That way I don't get the objection of, well, this page is too overwhelming, it's too fast, and I can't keep up with it. I am planting the seed and letting them know you are going to love this page. It's high energy. Don't get overwhelmed. You're going to love it. Don't worry about it. You're going to love it.
And guess what? They don't worry about it. They don't get overwhelmed.
We don't get objections with this page is too overwhelming. And I've added my 74-year-old Filipino mother into the page, and she loves it. So.
Do you have issues with losing prospects to other leaders in the product page?
Nope.
No.
Great question, Casey. No, because
a proper product page, there's no poaching allowed. Everyone has that understanding, and if there is any of that, we immediately address that issue with that person.
Now, our product page we keep an eye on it like a hawk eye. Between me and Jill and the other top leaders, it's only one team. We don't have everybody from all over our company. It's a very tight-knit group of our team only. And we all keep it, we protect it. So we make sure there is no poaching. And if somebody is ready to get started and they don't know how to get started, we always refer them back to the person that added them to the product page. Everything is with the highest integrity within that product page. So just make sure that if you do not have a product page and you have to create one, then those are some tips that you can use to implement. Make sure that you protect the page. There is no negativity in the page. Boot negative out immediately. Block them if you have to. There's a difference between somebody being like nice negative because they need to be educated more. I'm talking about the real nasty downers. Just get them out of your page.
There's a difference between people that are ignorant because they haven't been educated enough and people that are negative and they're slamming whatever you're talking about.
Because they're just naturally negative.
Yeah.
And just make sure that everybody is referred back to the person that added them.
Yeah, and that's found. That's an easy find. You just go to the members and look at the people who added them. It's easy to find.
No negative Nellies.
So
Debbie Downers.
Negative Nelly.
And then, of course, I won't go into deep detail, but when you are dealing with social media, remember in the 2-week turnaround, I'm teaching you how to brand yourself. We brand yourself appropriately on Facebook. So somebody goes, well, what are you doing? I want to know what you're doing. So when you're doing the 2-week turnaround, you're implementing changing the Facebook algorithm. I'm teaching you how to make your own quotes to change the Facebook algorithm. I'm teaching you how to post at least minimum 5 times a day. Minimum 5 times a day. We're going to be kicking this up a notch through the holidays, right? Because you need to get them. Because when somebody wants to know what you're doing, you need to add them to the product page. I always like to get their permission. I don't just do the silent ninja. I don't do that. I think it's very professional if you get their permission. Just let them know ahead of time that you're going to be adding them into a product page, and you get their permission, and let them know that they're going to love it. It's high energy.
And guys, it's really easy to get their permission. It's not some big drawn out thing like you're asking them permission to borrow their car for a week.
Right?
It's like, hey, would it be okay if I add you to the product page? That's asking permission, and then they say, yeah, that's fine, go ahead. So everything, if you come across as it's no big deal, then they respond as it's no big deal. That's cool.
Okay.
So
we gotta wrap this up. So that was part 2 of the rule of 5, right? You're prospecting, but when you're out and about, you're implementing the 4 Fs, making sure that they're on Facebook because the goal is to get them into your product page. If you're doing social media and somebody wants to know what you're doing, you still get the permission, add them to the product page. But here is the part where everybody messes up. It's part 3 of the rule of 5, which is follow up.
Most people don't follow up.
How in the world do you follow up using a product page?
The thing is, a lot of people bring them to their store, in this case a product page. They drop them off and leave. And they're just wandering around their store with no guidance.
And this is why your business stalls out and why you're not growing. this is the secret sauce that I was talking about yesterday. Well, this is the secret sauce on how to get your business moving, is because you need to be following up in the product page. You need to be following up in the product page, which also means you need to be educating. Follow up means education. Follow up means education. Let me say that again. Follow up means education. Education means posting. Education means posting. Following up means posting. Are you seeing the connection? This is where everybody drops the ball.
Guys, if you're not in your store and they can't see your presence in there, they're going to lose interest. They won't see your stuff in the feed anymore, and it just fades away.
So what most people do is they'll add somebody in the product page, and then they won't educate, they won't teach and post, and they won't inspire by commenting and being engaged within the product page. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll go in there and kind of look, but they don't engage.
Why is it important? Why is it important to engage? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But why is it important to engage? Because following up is education, right? So if you're posting and you're engaging in the product page, that creates more exposures for your prospect that is in the product page. And we know from industry stats that it takes anywhere from 4 to 18 exposures for somebody to make a decision when they're going to get started and with what. So if you're posting, educating, and that equals following up, they will get those exposures, enough exposures necessary to make that decision. The power is in their court. You just need to encourage them with the right information.
Because remember, in our industry, all we're doing is educating. They decide, and we support. But if we're not educating, how in the world can they make a decision? Because remember how the Facebook algorithm works. When you post within the product page, they get a ding, a notification that Casey Tucker just posted in the product page, and then her prospect will go, ooh, I want to see what Casey just posted, right?
See, look, Kayla made a good point. When she was first added to our product page, she knew exactly who the leaders were.
Ooh.
Because they were engaging. They were there all the time.
Their presence is very known, right?
So it's obvious. She's saying that it's absolutely obvious who is running the show. So you want to be part of that running the show so that they know that you're serious about your business.
Because remember, as an inspirational leader, you need to earn someone's trust. How in the world are they going to trust you as a cleanse coach? Or how are they going to trust you as a beauty expert if you're not in there posting and engaging and inspiring and commenting and rooting people on? Congratulations, you lost so much weight. You look beautiful and incredible. You need to build people's trust in the product pages. And many of you just drop people off and take off. I don't know where you go.
Do you remember?
Where you go, because real quick before I forget, the Facebook algorithm works like this. If you are not posting and educating, what happens is your prospect will then become silent. The entire product page will now become silent, and it just fades away. If you, as the person who added your prospect in, if you are not posting, the product page then becomes obsolete. It fades away.
What she's saying is it fades out of their news feed. They don't see anything anymore.
They don't see it anymore.
So that's the important thing, that you need them to keep seeing your store is open and thriving.
They need to see your passion. They need to see your passion within the product page, that you believe in this company, that you believe in these products, and look how amazing they are, because they truly transformed, Paul and I's lives, and I want to relay that to my prospects.
Guys, didn't we talk about the other day about being an inspirational leader? And that also has to do not only with building trust, showing people passion and offering hope before they join into your opportunity, but after they're added into the product page, after you've got their attention and they're in your product page, now they're in your store, now you're setting a new standard of trust. And the only way to build that trust is with you continually engaging and posting in your product page, because now they're like, oh, I can trust this person to help me get the solution that fits with their system. So that's where more trust is built. You never stop being an inspirational leader. It's just the pathway changes after they're in your product page.
You may think that you're an inspirational leader. I don't know what people think when they think they're an inspirational leader, but you become inspirational within the product page. You become inspirational as a leader also within your business page. But this is your storefront. This is where you're going to be doing most of your engagement and your connection, if you will. You're not doing it with private messages so much or calling on the phone all the time. Most of it, the majority of it, will be done in the product page or within your own business page.
95% of our business is all done in the product page.
So, for instance, I'll just give you kind of a recap how Paul and I do it. This may be a part where you kind of have to do the Michael class, kind of figure it out. But for us, this is how we do it and how my team does it. Usually what we'll do is when we add somebody to the product page, I give them a beautiful, warm welcome. I want them to feel like this is part of their community because I truly mean it. I'm blessed and so grateful that they're in my product page. And when I do that, I add them in there, and then somebody on my team, or perhaps I will add a video. I'm always using the tool. Your company will provide you with beautiful tools, so use them in the product page. In my case, I'll use the Isogenics difference or the Start Your Life video, or somebody on my team will make sure they add another layer. Because look, when you're in the product page, you can only see one dimension of the entire company, right? It's hard to really grasp the entire essence of the company. But when I add a video in the comment section of the original welcome post, I layer it because there's music and there's emotion, and the videos are very powerful. The tools are very powerful.
It opens up their eyes to a bigger picture.
Yeah. So adding the tool within the comment section is a beautiful thing that you can do. You can kind of figure out how this works for you. And at that point, maybe 24 hours later, 12 to 48 hours later, somewhere in between there, I may add another video, something like getting started or something like that. But this is where you can continue your following up, is within the product page. So
now, guys, the reason we're highlighting this part is because you guys are going to go to Celebration, or you're going to watch it live, or you're going to your company event. You get so much passion and excitement, and it's just like a ball of energy, and you're about to explode. And the old ways of doing things, a lot of people just took their excitement and then they started throwing mud on the wall. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. You can take that energy and put it into a real solid direction that really works, right? So you can get real results faster. Now, I know typically, at least last year, how it worked was we went to our event, and then about a month later was the 90 game plan was launched. So there was some time to kind of get that pre-launch set up. But I say we start now, right? We've been doing this for 50 episodes. We've been trying to build on the energy from episode number 1 to today because we knew the timing of the situation. We knew we were going to go into Celebration. We knew we were going to have that pre-launch time. But we could be in the heart of our action where there are already habits. And a habit is defined as something that you do without thinking, or something that is weird not to do. So you've already created these new habits. You're in the 2-week turnaround. You're doing the rule of 5. You already know how to put people in the product page and follow up. You've already done these things so many times that by the time the 90-day game plan launches, you have such an excitement, such a passion, and a team to run with you that's doing duplicatable steps that you just soar through the next 90 days along with the rest of the company.
You do this as a team. As a team. Right? You don't do everything by yourself, and maybe if you're just brand new in the industry, brand new in your company, yeah, you're probably doing most of the work, and that's okay.
But you link up with the team that you're on too. Yeah. You're never alone. You're in business for yourself, but never by yourself from day one. You already have a teammate. It's the person that enrolled you.
Please don't underestimate the power of this product page. Don't just like flip it off and just go, oh, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't need one. You need one. You need one. This is where all of the magic happens, is within the product page. Mm-hmm. So please make sure that you have one and get it going. Get that energy going. It's very contagious. It's very informative and educational. And we get paid to be cheerleaders. So please be engaged, in your own product page, because people want to see. Plus, you're planting seeds with other prospects. Everything is full circle. We don't just concentrate just on our team and our prospects. You want to be educating everybody that's in the team. Everything is full circle, right? Everything is full circle. So anyway, I think I just want to stop right there because I know we got to get on the road.
There's so many more details in this interaction, but we wanted to highlight these things because these are some foundational things you can do, the 4 F's. So, compliment. Ask a question.
Yes, in fact, if you're brand new, why don't you go ahead and do that? That could be your homework. Even if you're in San Diego with us, or maybe you're here back at home and you're going out to eat, or you're at Target or wherever. Go ahead and your homework is this if you're brand new. Practice complimenting and asking a question. And it may not lead to anything. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't lead anywhere. You have no expectations. Your goal is not to engage and talk about the business at all. All you want to do is just be adding value to somebody's life. So practice right now, just complimenting, and then ask a question. That's all you need to do, okay?
So keep it super simple because this is all about duplications. As we can learn that, then we can duplicate it to our team.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to be doing the rest of the episodes throughout this week just because we're going to be in San Diego, but we will try our hardest.
We'll do our best.
Yeah. But when we get back from celebration, we got to kick it right back into a high gear because we got to do the 90-day game plan and all the training that we get from our event. We'll try to implement it into our success key.
We'll just see how it
kind of
ties
refine
in.
a little bit more and see what we can implement more.
Yeah.
Okay, but with everything, we want nothing more than you to be successful in your business. We can do this. We all can do this together, taking those baby steps, and you can totally change everything within your business within 2 weeks, I promise. But you just got to know how to work that Facebook algorithm and implement the 2-week turnaround and the rule of 5. And then we'll hit on the 14-day talk. Don't worry, me and Paul will take you literally A through Z. But today was just an episode on the rule of 5, concentrating on prospecting, following up within your product page, making sure everybody's on the same page about how important it is to have a high energy product page because that's where you're going to be doing most of your work. Okay. So anyway, we'll leave you with this. We want nothing more than for you to live the most extraordinary life.
Always free from physical and financial pain.
So join us on this mission.
Because it's a stone cold fact.
We do. We have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. We love you.
See you guys at
Happy
celebration.
Wednesday.